Hi, and welcome to the second part of uFrame 1.5 Getting Started series. In this part, we're going to code character jumping. We will first implement single jump, and then I will show you how easy it is to extend existing code to implement double jumping. Our approach will be similar to what we have done with the movement. I'm going to need three properties: jump intention, jump state, and another property called isOnTheGround. IsOnTheGround is going to be a scene property. Jump intention is going to be enum. There will be two items there. And my jump state is going to be state machine. IsOnTheGround is going to be bool. Character jump state machine is going to have three states: no jump, do jump, and in the air. Next, I will define three transitions: jump expected, left ground, and landed. In the no jump state, when I'm expecting jumping, I'm going to transition to do jump. But if I left ground, I'm going to go in the air. On do jump, I actually perform jumping, so at this point I can only leave ground, and I will transition to in the air. When I'm in the air, at some point I will land, and I will transition back to no jump. Or, if I'm expecting jump, I'm going to transition to do jump again. It is not really useful for single jumping, but as soon as we're going to implement double jump, this is going to come in handy. And my default state is going to be no jump. Now let us add a few computers. One will be called should_jump. It's going to be boolean, and it's going to depend on jump intention. Another property will be called isNotOnTheGround. It is going to be inverse of isOnTheGround property, so it's going to be dependent on this. When we should jump, we expect jumping. When we're not on the ground, it means we left the ground. And if we are on the ground again, it means we have landed. Finally, let us add jump state binding and isNotOnTheGround binding to the view. And I will also set my jump intention to be a scene property. As usually, I'm going to start with the view model. Here I will define how my newly created computers are calculated. For example, isNotOnTheGround is simply inverse of isOnTheGround property. and my should jump will be something like return is on the ground and jump intention equals to jump. So at this point we can only jump when we are on the ground and the intention is set to jump. We still have no commands or any additional logic related to the jumping, so I'm not going to touch controller, but I'm going to add a few things to the view. First, I'm going to define how my jump intention is calculated. So whenever player presses space, I'm going to return jump intention jump, or it's going to be always idle. Now let's define how is on the ground is calculated. And it is very specific to your setup. In my case, I'm going to do ray casting against a layer called floor. Now it's time to fill in the handlers. So I got handlers generated for my jumping state, and at this point I'm going to use do jump handler, and I'm going to get my rigid body, set vertical velocity to 0, and then add impulse force. We're not going to need any other state handlers right now, but I'm not going to remove those. Also, in this binding related to is not on the ground property, I'm going to use my animator to set is in the air boolean property to whatever comes in. So now if we hit play, we can jump. But single jump is not fun at all. So let's implement double jump. In the diagram, I'm going to need a couple of properties. One is going to be of type bool, and I'll call it jump locked. It's going to be used for a little cooldown when double jumping. The second one is going to be int, and I'll call it jump or jumps performed. This is going to indicate how many times we have jumped since we last were on the ground. And we can save and compile. In my view model, I'm going to slightly change how should jump is calculated. So now, it also relies on jump locked and on the jumps performed. So if we're not on the ground, but we still have any jumps left, we're going to jump anyway. Well, now it seems we got some additional logic related to the jumping, so we're going to use controller finally. Whenever I'm initializing the character, I'm going to take its jump state property and subscribe to it. I'm going to invoke a handler. I will pass in the character and the state. If my state is no jump, it probably means that we're on the ground, so I'm going to reset the jumps performed. Else, if my state is do jump, I'm going to increment jumps performed. I'm also going to lock the jump but I will create a timer using the observable. And let's say that after 100 milliseconds, I will set jump locked back to false. And that's it. Enjoy your double jump. If we go back and hit play, we can now double jump, but it will not allow us to do more jumps than 2. We can easily change it by changing this constant right here to something like 4.